Ladies and gentlemen, very good day. Welcome on board Line Trainer Kappa's channel. Today's will be a flight from Brussels International to London Heathrow. And the idea is to give you an immersive experience on what's happening on the line. So for the software I'm using X-Plane 12. For the EFB using SimBrief, dispatch and charts from a Navigraph. And we're using for the airplane the ToLiss A320 Neo. We have an Airbus livery, so we are simulating an ACMI flight on behalf of Brussels Airlines. Call sign is Beeline 15 Yankee with an estimate flight time of 48 minutes. We'll be cruising at 24,000 feet with a ground distance of 39 nautical miles. And the block fuel, minimum block fuel is 4.9 tons. We rounded up a bit because we may expect some delays in London Heathrow to 5.5 tons. Apart from that, in terms of our weather today, if you look at the picture here, we can expect some moderate icing all the way from Brussels to London till flight level 200, so hopefully we'll be clear at cruise altitude. I will use adequate anti-icing protection. Apart from that, in terms of our METAR, we have in Brussels 07 in use with some tempo rain and snow recently. So hopefully we'll be ahead of the next snow shower, we can avoid the icing. In terms of the ATIS provided by VATSIM, the platform to which we are currently logged on, we have 07 right, runway is wet for departure with fairly good winds. Some rain showers ahead, scattered clouds there, reported temperature above freezing point, and QNH 102. In terms of NOTAMs, nothing really pops there, just Whiskey 41 taxiway closed. Apart from that is good. In London Heathrow we've got light rain, typical English weather with overcast clouds and temperature above freezing point. The TAF is looking similar. We may expect runway 09 there, and the ATIS does confirm 09 right for departure, 09 left for arrival. Good visibility and above Cat 1 weather. In terms of NOTAMs, we'll take a look there. Nothing really pops there for our expected arrival and parking stand, so should be good. The alternate to Manchester is also nice weather actually, good alternate. Some light rain there possible, but nothing special. NOTAMs for Manchester, nothing pops there as well. And the en route alternate Ostend, fairly good, although some light snow possible, maybe not the best one, so we'll monitor that en route. Okay, so in terms of weather NOTAMs, we are good to go, and with that we are going to the flight sim, and we can see that loading and catering is ongoing. We just arrived at the aircraft, so I'd like to welcome you on board. It's cold and dark airplane. We'll be occupying right seat, operating as pilot flying. And whilst the captain is checking the tech log, he also confirms that there is one MEL item which we'll cover later on, but we can safely start up the aircraft. Alright, so let's go ahead and start with the preliminary cockpit preparation then. The engine 1 master and engine 2 master lever off. Engine mode selector normal, the weather radar is off. Predictive wind shear system is off, landing gear lever is down, and both wipers are off. The batteries are above 20.5 volts, they can go on, and the external is available. And we receive a thumbs up from the captain. We can start up the electricity here. I will give it a minute to boot the systems. In the meantime, a few words about myself. I'm flying on the line for the last 20 years with about 10,000 hours, a little bit over 10,000 hours total time. 4 airplane types, started on Avro regional jet, then moved on to A320, A321, A340, and at present back on the A320. Meanwhile, the cockpit is up and running, and we can go ahead and prepare our RMPs. So we've got the ATIS in standby, Brussels ground, and then the approach. For VATSIM, we'll be asking delivery non-standard on the approach frequency, since there is no coverage on the ground for the time being. So the ACPs are set as well, and the APU fire tests. So unfortunately cannot show you all the cockpits because there's more to check there. The air conditioning panel, let's heat up the cabin a bit. There's a low pressure air connected for the time being, so we can stand by a little bit with the APU. And we'll go ahead and align our IRs. Cockpit lights, they are adequate for the flight. And the EFBs have been started, the version and database have been cross-checked. ACARS was initialized by CM1. And we can go ahead as CM1 to initialize Unit A from Brussels to London Heathrow with alternate Manchester, and the flight number beeline 15 Yankee. The database is valid with Pratt & Whitney engines. The EFB has been initialized as well on both sides. In the meantime, the captain confirms in the tech log cabin pressure system 2 fault with on the status page cabin pressure system 2 inoperative. When we consult our MEL, we can see that automatic CPC2 may be inoperative according item 21-31-01 Bravo. It's a C item 2 installed, 1 required. The automatic cabin pressure control system 2 may be inoperative provided that it is deactivated and the cabin pressure indications on the cabin pressure status display page are checked operative in manual mode, and the landing elevation selector manual function is operative. Moving on to the operating procedure, we have to pull circuit breaker Yankee 22 Yankee, that does go inside. And we should check on the overhead panel. The manual mode selector push button in manual. On the cabin pressure status display page, check that the cabin differential pressure, the cabin vertical speed, the cabin altitude and the outflow valve position are available. That's checked. Manual vertical speed control switch down. On the cabin pressure system display page, check outflow valve movement. That's correct. And so the mode selector push button switch can go back to auto. And we also needed to verify the manual mode is working So we consider this operating procedure as completed, and the CDL, nothing there. In terms of the aircraft configuration summary, is a pretty standard GPS primary with PWS, and nav mode automatically engages armed at go round. In terms of our OABs, we've got OAB 61 active, which is cabin pressure excess cabin altitude, with ECAM entry cabin pressure excessive cabin altitude. The procedure is to apply the cabin pressure excessive cabin altitude ECAM procedure even if not confirmed on the cabin pressure status display page. Then the captain accepts the aircraft. I do concur. Moving on with the preliminary performance determination, we can go ahead and copy the ATIS.
Scattered at 4,800 feet, temperature 3, 2.0 QNH 1022, nosing confirm information Juliet. On first contact. Brussels National Information Juliet. 1050 expect vectoring for ILS approach runway 01. For arrivals wet runway 07 right for departures, transition level 55, wind 070 degrees 8 knots, visibility 7 kilometers, weather light rain clouds. QM at 1,400 feet. Scattered at 4,800 feet, temperature 3, 2.0 QNH 1022, nosing confirm information Juliet.
Okay, so we copied the weather, so we confirm 07 right, runway wet in use. And we can go ahead with the performance calculations. In the meantime as well, we received our final load sheet with 5.4 tons on board. That's okay. And the weights, we do have a good margin there, so that's fine. We will be departing from 07 right. And let's take a look if we can proceed with an intersection there. From Charlie 6 we can safely depart. That's 488 meters down the runway with the wind of 070.8 knots. We've got a temperature of 3 degrees, and the QNH 1022. Runway is wet, engine anti-ice will thus be on, and we will be taking off with air conditioning on, giving us a stop margin of 171 meter. That's quite good. And if we go ahead and populate that in the Captain ZFB just to cross-check that, then we find exactly the same numbers. So we are good in terms of performance. Then the pilot monitoring. In this case, the captain continues with the before walk around part, which is to say checking the oxygen, which is more than sufficient. We have good hydraulic quantity, and in terms of our engine oil, more than enough quantity. Then in terms of flaps, they are retracted. Speed brake lever is retracted and disarmed. The accumulator pressure is checked. The parking brake handle is on. Brake pressure indicator is checked. The alternate braking, I do confirm the chocks are in place. And there we go. Parking brake is set. Emergency equipment, not really possible to show you because it's not displayed here, but that's how we, or that's where we usually check the emergency equipment. The rain repellent as well is not simulated, but it's located here. The gear pins should be here, and Captain then goes for the walk around.